Oh dear, a castle infiltration mission.
皆さんに
Well, it's technically early in Xtreme Legends. Might not need to fast forward through this.
なんだったっけかの
Is it just me or does the castle look a bit different from the inside this time?
臭いものには蓋っていうかね上の柵を弓で射て落としゃ敵も出て
Wait, so we can stop the flow of enemies into this part of the castle? Interesting to know, but it's not like we've got all that much motivation to cut off the flow of enemy troops to this floor. After all, our job is to just keep moving up as we kill enemy officers along the way. Even at our low level, the basic enemy soldiers aren't a threat. I think I've said this before in the main game a few times, but I can't help feeling that kind of undermines the whole idea of having an army, or even using tactics, when you have overpowered warriors who can just brute force their way through massive crowds with little trouble. There had to have been a better way to make the basic enemy soldiers feel like something, other than just chaff on normal difficulty. Okay, the doors may look more detailed, but it still feels like the layout is very familiar here. Guess I kinda got my hopes up when I thought this mission was gonna be an actually unique map, as opposed to something we've seen numerous times before.
逃げてください。なるほど。あなたでしたか。角股にそれを気づいた。その知り合いには
Do you not notice the fact that we're using a staff, not a sword here? Granted, the staff is a nice upgrade from the generic spear he had in the base game. Definitely like using the moveset that goes with it, but still.
役目も果たせないとは。
Well, you failed countless times back in the base game, so it's not that much of a surprise.
あだ名通りの身のこなし。さすがですね。
褒められてる気がするの
I don't recall Hideyoshi being especially renowned for being a badass warrior. He was a logistical genius and an ambitious son of a bitch, considering he started life as a peasant, became leader of the country, and decided to invade another country because he wasn't satisfied. But I don't think at this point there would be any rumors about him at all. Well, at least it seems that Hideyoshi is as annoyed with our next objective as I am. So when we find the Mino 3, who as far as I've been able to tell, are not given unique sprites or personalities in this entire series, in the same order on 2 floors, they'll switch to our side? I don't care how you look at it. There's a terrible way to get some guys to change sides in the middle of a battle. And I'm not just saying that because it'd be all too easy for people to lose track of what order they took these guys down in. These are not distinctive people here. They are as generic as they come. Which means the only way to recognize who you're taking down is to pay attention to the name, and frankly, they're only remembered as the guys who switched sides to Nobunaga's during the Oda-Saito conflict. They took part in a number of battles after the Saito clan was defeated, sure, but they never really made the kind of impact that history really pays attention to. Hell, one of them died as a Ronin simply because nobody bothered to renew his contract when it expired. Typically when I imagine Ronins, I imagine people who were either born from masterless samurai and kept trying to get their families a master, or their lords were killed and they didn't commit suicide to join them. It feels a bit odd to think of a samurai as essentially a free agent from a sports team. tell me their enemy officers on this floor aren't members of the Mino 3? As if we needed other things to make it more complicated to keep track of the semi-important warriors we take down and what order they go down in. Hell, shouldn't the fact that we kick their asses outside of the castle also mean something? Not that it meant anything to Ranmaru, or that it will to Mitsuhide, but still. 2 down, 1 to go. Huh. Didn't take long to find the third one at all. Hopefully we can get to the next floor before my short-term memory decides to lose track of which of the 3 we took down first. This feels like one of those objectives that could be very embarrassing to get wrong. Kind of surprised I haven't actually been tempted to fast forward through this castle, despite how I typically did so in the main Samurai Warriors game. Wonder why that's the case. The layout is still the same damn thing I've gotten tired of running through, even if I still don't remember it as well as I should, considering how many times we've run through it. Well, that's not one of the 3, so we should be good taking him down. Again, still nothing special said from Hideyoshi about Hanbei, despite the guy becoming a retainer for Hideyoshi after this battle. Guess we're just gonna have to wait for when Hanbei is a more distinct character in this series. Really? They're going to make it this easy to take these guys down in the order we put them on the previous floor? Great job making this objective feel even more pointless, as if the fact that we have to beat these guys 3 times in the course of 2 missions wasn't enough of an annoyance, considering they've yet to be made distinctive characters in the series even after the 4th main entry. They're literally about as unimportant as you can get while still having your name remembered hundreds of years later. It's like grabbing a random group of soldiers from a war who happened to go through multiple battles, but never really did enough to get especially high levels of attention from their commanders. It's not that I think they're not worth remembering at all, just that considering the style of story this is, and the fact that they never get fleshed out, it's probably not all that worth it to spend this much time on them, when we can be dealing with the larger figures of the period. Wait, why isn't the objective being registered as completed now? I don't think I made a mistake, I just checked the footage! Wish I could say I'm looking forward to a rivalry between Mitsuhide and Hideyoshi, but no? Even if he is a major character, I'd say the less we have to deal with this moron, the better. Though maybe the writing might change my mind on that later on. Well, at least Mitsuhide acknowledges that we've beaten him before in this campaign. And I can't really call Hideyoshi's response a taunt, since it is absolutely true in this campaign. And with that, we are free to get to the next floor, at least as soon as the short, pointless cutscene ends.
見事な手前引かせていただきます。
Right, so we're going against the Saito leader and one other guy while being supported by the Mino 3. And just how do you plan on making them pay when you're in the grave? It's not like you've got any position to make threats here. You're outnumbered, there's an army outside of your castle, and there's no way out of here. Look, I get that blocking is a good way to prolong your life, but it's not like you've been able to strike back that much. I'd ask you to surrender, but I'm pretty sure Nobunagi is going to cut off your head if you aren't dead by the time you get to him. And that does it. The Saito are finished. Again. Kind of hoping this is the last time we see this battle and this castle, but there are a lot more games in this series and they might revisit it anyway. I think I'll just fast forward past the post-battle stuff, especially since a lot of our equipment is back from the main game and better than what we're getting here.